AlgoLaser MK2 DIY. I got it sitting right here, and we're going to go over a few of the things you can make with it without having a computer connected, just directly from the projects that come with it on the screen. I'll show you how to navigate that and how to set it up, and you can make some cool little things like airplanes and keychains, and there's a lot of projects on there. But I wanted to show in detail how you would do this directly from the screen, how you would get your stuff in position, and what to do if perhaps the default settings don't work quite right for you. So with that said, I'm going to get you in close and we'll go over a few of these things. Okay, we'll start out here. I've got a piece of 3mm plywood sitting out there, 1/8 inch to people on this side of the pond. So I've set my focus and everything. So what I need to do first is I need to bring this thing home, and I do not have the computer connected to it at all. So I want to hit on motion, hit home, it brings it home. Okay, little button up there, back up. Now I can go to projects. And what comes with after you upgrade your firmware, there's some projects on the SD card, and there's what they call example. There's 56 different things you can do on there. And we're going to just grab one of them here pretty quick. And I've done these keychains here, and I'll show you those in a minute. You got a little bear phone stand. I've done the airplane. You've got a lot of cutouts here. You can do a dream catcher. And as you look at the screen, it'll tell you how long each project takes. For example, this little fawn right here will take 5 minutes and 5 seconds to cut out. Down here, there's a key hook. Takes 12 minutes and 30 seconds to cut that out. You've got some little like funky glasses there, a 9-minute thing. Make a little rack there to store your craft paints in. That one would take 31 minutes. This here's a pen holder, cuts out a lot of pieces. That's 43 minutes. Just giving you some different examples of what you can do here. You can scroll down through and see all these different things you can make. And this is great to get you going if you've never done this kind of thing before. So here is a butterfly, and I'm just for the heck of it. We'll take that butterfly, we'll choose that. Okay, it says materials MDF, and I'm actually going to use this 1/8 inch plywood. The size of it is 800 millimeters by 77 millimeters. And the time to cut it out is 5 minutes and 13 seconds. So you go there, you got origin and range. So we need to set my steps here. Okay, we're at 10, that's fine. So I need to decide where I want to put this so I can move that's 10 millimeters at a time. So once you kind of got it in the lower left corner of your area you want to cut, this little button right above start, that is to frame it. So that will show you exactly how much area it will take. And as you can see, I'm within my work parameters there. And I am going to turn the air assist on because that helps keep your lens clean and keeps everything neat and tidy. We'll hit start, and it'll start its engrave. Of course, I won't record the entire process here because that would take quite a while. It'd be a little bit boring to watch. But as you can see, it's engraving it real nice. And I'm not using MDF, I'm using a piece of plywood here. But you can also change your material settings if you like. You can also change your speed. Right here, you know, I can either speed it up or slow it down by just moving it on this bar right here. You know, we're fine where we're at here for just doing an engrave. And you can also do the same thing with power. You can't take 100% past 100%, but you could reduce the power if you wanted to. And right here will tell you elapsed time and how much time you have left for the engrave or the cut, depending on what project you're doing. I'll show you some of the progress here. As you can see, it's moving right along. I didn't want to just try to record the whole engrave here because that'd be a little bit boring. But it's making a pretty nice mark on this 1/8" plywood. Okay, we're all finished. So once it finishes here, the screen will go to sleep, by the way. You can either do the same thing again, or you can just click on Finished right here. It'll take you back to home. So what I like to do here is go back to Control and Motion and just take it back home again. That way it's out of your way. So there's our finished butterfly on that particular little project. Just to give you an example. So now I'm going to take it back home here, go to another project, and we'll go back to the example here. I'm going to scroll down here quite a bit. So I want to show you an example of one that you may need to do a little extra work with, depending on your material. There's also speed tests you can do, and I may demonstrate one of those here yet, but I wanted to go to, I guess I need to go back to what's on the SD card here, the projects. I want my snowflake, they're right there. So here's a snowflake, and I'm going to use the same piece of wood here. I'm just going to, well, I'm going to use a different one. Well, what I'm going to show here, and I want to use this as an example here. This is from the file, and I shrunk it down a little bit to fit on this piece of 1/8" plywood. But what happened was, using the default settings, because every batch of plywood is different. I've cut several things out. For example, this little airplane right here. I cut that out of this 1/8" plywood, a different piece, and it cut just fine. This is using the same settings, but the problem is, as you can see in the back, it did not cut all the way through. And of course, it's running already at 100% power, so it's not like I can make it go higher. But what I need to do is slow the speed down, and I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. So as you can see, here's the snowflake. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to do it over here, but I'm going to slow the speed down. So here we are going to be doing engraving, of course. So now I need to change my size. So if you look right down here, it'll tell you the size right now is 298 by 289 millimeter. So I'm going to change that. So we'll tap on this. We're going to make it 100 millimeter. Just click on the little OK thing. So it'll be 100 millimeter by 96 millimeter. So we're going to go quality high. We're going to go 1 pass. We could do 2 passes. Right now the speed is set at 200 and 1 pass at 100% power. That's 200 millimeters per minute. So what I might do here is change my, instead of changing the speed, I want to increase my passes to 2. Now I'm doing 2 passes. Of course, we got birch plywood here. Now I need to position this where I'm at. That's not what I'm on to do. I need to position this where I'm at. So we'll hit processing here. Origin and range. So we want to do the layout here. So right now it's set for the, I want to move that up. Get it right about there. And right above this confirm thing is a little, where you can frame it. Make sure it'll be within your work area. You may not have been able to see that, so I'll do that again. Zoom out a little bit here. Okay, now we'll hit confirm. We've hit confirm. We're going to hit our, so that'll show you the area that's going to engrave, that's going to cut in. So now we'll hit confirm. So now we got the origin and range set up. We have our speed and power set up. I just click start. And it'll start its cut. Okay, the entire time for this is 18 minutes and, well, it keeps changing. It's about 16 minutes because I've done one of these before. And of course we're doing 2 passes, and I do have the air assist on. Okay, once it finishes, it'll go back to where it started. So I'll hit my finish button on here. I know you can't see that. I'm going to go here and control. I'm going to send it home just to have it out of the way. So now we'll see if we, yeah, see, now we have our snowflake completely cut out. Whereas with that second pass, because on this particular type of plywood, for some reason, there was some little grains in here that didn't allow it to cut all the way through everywhere. It did in most places, but not everywhere. So adding that second pass gave us a perfect snowflake. So there are several different projects you can do that come right on with the firmware that's going to be on your SD card in there and loaded into memory. Of course, there's a snowflake. You've got some different keychains. Little airplane's kind of cool, and there's quite a bit of other things you can make if you're just getting started and want to get your feet wet and make something without a whole lot of design. Now, it also has a feature in here where you can do what we call test cuts or test engraves. And I'm going to get loaded up here. I'll show you how to get one of those set. Okay, I got a piece of 1/8" plywood laying in there again. So we'll go here to projects and we'll get in the example here. I'm going to scroll way down through these projects. We'll get into the test cuts. So you get speed test 50 to 100, 200 to 2000. On passes, test speed 100, passes test speed 200. In fact, we're going to pick this one. So it tells you materials all. We're going to 10 watt, 16 minutes, 58 seconds. Makes an 80 by 60 pattern. So we want to get my origin set here. I'm going to step this up to 100 or 50 to make it go a little quicker. Get this up on my material. Then I hit this button right here is to frame it. I'll show you how big of a mark it's going to make. And then all we have to do is hit start. So what this test is signifying is the number of passes. So the first square up there on the upper left was 1 pass. The next square was 2 passes. The next one to the right of that is 3 passes. This one here will do 4. Then it'll do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Of course, we don't really need to do 10 passes on 1/8" plywood, but if you had something thicker in there, it would. Okay, I'm going to stop this here because obviously we don't need to do 10 passes to cut 1/8" plywood, but this gives you an idea if you have some thicker material. And I may put a piece of 1/4" in there to find out. Okay, if you want to stop and abort, red button right there, confirm you want to stop. We're going to hit finish, and I'm going to bring this back home so I can take that off of there. So as you can see, it cut it on the first pass, so there was no reason to keep going here. But on a thicker material, and that's what I'm going to put up here, we'll be able to show you that. Okay, I got a piece of 1/4" plywood in here, and of course I set my focus here. So I'm going to take this back home, and then we'll get this position. We'll do the exact same test, but this time on some 1/4" plywood. One thing I noticed here on these test runs you can make on this is does not engrave the text very dark. At least not on the piece of plywood I've been using here. It is readable, it's just not very dark. So it's making its first one. This one will be one pass to 200 millimeters per minute at 100% power. And I don't know if that will cut through this 1/4" plywood in 1 pass or not, but I'm thinking it will on 2 or 3. Okay, and looking at this as it's running, I can see that we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're into the 6th pass run. As soon as it figures a 6-pass run, I'm going to stop it because it has obviously been cutting through. I can see it came through really well at 3 passes and 4, so yeah, so we're going to stop this as soon as it finishes its last set here. Of course, the screen does go dark if you just touch it. You can bring it back on again. Okay, and as it completes, you just hit the stop button there. We'll confirm that. We're going to say finished. And I'm going to go back. I'm going to take this home. I'll get it out of the way and we can look at the board. One thing I like to do when I'm doing these cut tests is I will pick it up and the pieces will fall out fine. Might give it a little tap. So as you can see, 1 pass did not quite make it through. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 obviously did. So that is an excellent way to test your material. And just because this piece of plywood came out that way doesn't mean another one will. This is, of course, these are speed tests that were done with light burn. But as you can see, they're not all the same. These are 3-pass tests. Different types of plywood, different brands, different batches. They may not all necessarily be the same. So there's an overview of how to operate this laser without a computer tethered to it. I do have one sitting over here, but it's not connected to it. It's not even on. And just using some of the projects that come with it from the factory, along with show you how to do one of the speed tests. And there's other tests, there's interval tests, there's quite a few you can do in there. Another thing you can do, if you do not have your computer tethered to it, is you can put, there's a place for a flash drive right here, a USB flash drive, and you can load your own SVG file or JPEG into it, and you can set up some scans that way, which is going to be the subject of another video because that's a little bit more complex. But I just wanted to show you some of the basics here. You see some of the easy projects you can make, just getting your feet wet. I've never done this before. Good way to get started. Okay, so where do you get the material? 1/8-inch plywood. If you got a Dollar Tree around, you can find these shapes. And $1.25. Good thing to practice on. If you're looking for larger pieces, try to avoid the craft stores like Hobby Lobby and those kind of places because they'll charge an outrageous amount for a little square plywood. If you got a Home Depot around you somewhere, they sell 1/8-inch plywood or 4-foot by 8-foot sheets. That's if you want to do a whole lot of practicing. And it's for what you would pay for a couple little pieces at a craft shop, you can buy a whole sheet at Home Depot for. Menards and Lowe's, I know of, do not sell 1/8-inch plywood. You'd have to special order it. Now 1/4-inch plywood, get that at about any home store. And what this here is actually 1/4-inch underlayment put up under tile. And it's a good thing to practice with and operate with. Sometimes the grain's a little weird, but otherwise it's a good thing to work with. Okay, this laser, of course, was provided to me by AlgoLaser to demonstrate, and that's what I've been working on doing here. There'll be some more videos coming up in here. This comes up on our live stream quite a bit. Yes, this is just a 10-watt laser. You can't cut anything with it. Well, yes, you can. You can cut 1/4-inch plywood because I just showed you how to do it. You can also cut acrylic, leather, a lot of other things. A 10-watt laser is ideal for engraving because the dot is smaller than you would have on, let's say, a 40-watt, and everything will be much more precise. So with that said, I hope you got something out of this. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Appreciate it. Always helps the video. Be a link in the description of where you can get one of these from AlgoLaser. Again, it's a real good beginner laser. Thanks for watching. I'm Roger in the shop. See you in the next one.